February 3rd, right? Yeah. First roundtable in February. This is actually my first time doing the new format. For those of you guys who don't know, we used to do this in the evenings on Fridays, and we just switched beginning of the year to doing it over lunch, which actually I like the timing. I think it's a lot of fun. My name is Nick Card. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the Vice President of Operations here at Combined Transport, and third generation here with the company. My responsibility is pretty much everything, operations, fleet, taking care of your equipment, making sure you guys have the tools you need to be successful when you're out over the road. I don't know some of you, so if you wouldn't mind if we go around and introduce yourselves, your name, your division, and where you're from, if you don't mind sharing. So we'll start right up here.
Okay, so I'm Teresa. I come from
Teresa?
Fresno, and I'll be a Link student, so I'll be
Awesome.
doing reefer.
Oh, welcome, Teresa. Good to have you. Back here.
I'm Russell from Phoenix, Arizona.
Russell?
With Reefer Division.
Great. Welcome, Russell. Good to have you.
I'm Philip. I'm from Marquette, Michigan.
Okay.
And, we're doing the reefer division.
Michigan. So are you experienced drivers that you're coming to us? Are you a student or?
Student.
Oh, okay. So what brought you to Oregon? Or you were a student in Michigan, and then is that where you did your?
From the cold. That's
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Awesome. Welcome. We'll go right over here.
Matt, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, class over the road.
Awesome. Welcome, Matt. Good to have you. Back here, I know you.
Chris. Switching over to glass.
That's right. That's right. Good. Are you excited? Enjoying. Are you in orientation this week, or are you doing flatbed training this week?
Next week.
Okay, next week flatbed. Okay. Yeah. So I'll ask you then if you're enjoying it. Awesome. Good to have you, Chris. Yeah. That's good.
In Texas, so.
Okay. That's great. Awesome. Well, good to have you again, Chris.
Joseph Meza. I'm from Victorville, California. I'll be working with the reefer van.
Oh, okay. It's good. It's a good location for reefer. So you should be getting through there a lot. So awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Chris, glass transfer.
Okay. Yeah.
here.
That's right.
Yep.
I recognize your face.
How can you not?
And last but not least, oh no, sorry. There's a couple more of you guys.
James Bray, Dayton, Texas.
Okay.
Heavy haul division.
Awesome. Good to have heavy haul guys here. And now, last but not least.
Hi, my name's Eddie. I'm from Oregon, and I'll be running reefers.
Great. Well, awesome. Well, thank you guys. Welcome. I hope Jared's been taking care of you guys who got through orientation. He's okay.
No. He can pay my $20 later.
Yeah. So,
The HR man.
But yeah, I mean, you guys enjoying orientation so far? Training, getting through? Are you guys all in orientation this week?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, good class. Good group. Fantastic. Well, tell you guys a little bit about Roundtable. What we do basically is this is an opportunity to talk. If as you guys get out over the road, feel free to come in. Oh, Steve, I didn't even see you back there.
I'm hiding.
Yeah, skillfully I see. Introduce yourself for the good of the order.
I'm Steve. I live in AJ, Apache Junction, Arizona, and I heavy haul.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve. So Steve's one of our experienced guys that's hanging out with us, and I hope you guys will come back and do that, enjoy some free food. We have different food that comes through as everybody, different people who do it have different food preferences, and we basically just talk about either some things that are going on with the company, some announcements, as well as a little bit of culture and company culture and how you guys can think about some of that stuff. So first off, a couple announcements that I've got that I think are kind of cool. We are beginning this month a process of evaluating new technology vendors for the stuff that we have in the truck. So that means we're going to be looking at new OBCs, new transponders, new camera systems, new everything, just to see what's out there. It's been quite a few years since we've done this process, and one of the things that's going to happen as part of this process is we're going to be doing demos and trial units with a number of different companies. Now, I don't know what exactly we're going to see. We're putting out our request for proposals right now, and so we're going to be working with a lot of different vendors, and the outcome of this could be we're not going to change a single thing because what we have really is the best. I'm not thinking that because I know how much technology has changed and how many opportunities have, new improvements have come out. So as part of this, like I said, we're going to be doing some demos and trials. And if you guys are interested in being a part of our demos, trying out new units, trying out new stuff as it comes up, then I'm really interested to have you guys be a part of that process, because your feedback's going to help us decide which is the right product. Timing-wise, this is probably going to be a 6-month-ish thing. I'm guessing we're going to start seeing proposals throughout February. We're going to kind of whittle down, have meetings with different vendors through March, and come April or May, we're going to start identifying particular products that we actually think would meet our requirements that we're going to want to put in the truck. And that's when the trials come up, and that's where we need you guys. When we went with the current PeopleNet system, that was a decision we made, 5-6 years ago. We had like a good 3 or 4 months with units in trucks. We had over 20 drivers who participated in the program, and that feedback was instrumental for us making the right decision. You guys helped us figure out how to use it correctly, figure out how to train you guys correctly, figure out the mistakes that we needed to avoid, and it helped us deploy it to the fleet with success. And I want to make sure we do that again, because the last thing I'm doing, right, what did I say my mandate is to you guys? Give you guys the tools you need to be successful out over the road. Giving you something that I don't know how it works, you don't know how it works, and actually doesn't do the job we need it to do, well, that's hardly setting you guys up for success out there. So that's why this is a slower process. We get you guys involved, and if you're interested, like I said, let me know. In a couple months, that's probably what that's going to be. And hopefully, I think if the timing's right, I'll have another roundtable with you guys that'll be right about that same time period. So to remind you guys if you're out there. So, and by the way, I didn't mention, but we do broadcast this live. Do we do it on Facebook, or is it just YouTube now?
YouTube Live. We share it.
YouTube Live, and then we put it on Facebook after the fact, so you guys can listen to this while you're going down the road too. So, which is cool. All right, so that's my first announcement. Second announcement that I wanted to talk about was safety in general. It's an important thing. A couple days ago, we had a rollover. One of our trucks rolled over off of Highway 97 up in Madras. And the cause of the rollover was distracted driving. Driver was trying to put some water down for his dog, took his eyes off the road for too long, ended up in the shoulder, and thanks, Steve. He told you to silence your phone. Are you deaf in one ear?
I'm just totally dumb
All right.
when it comes to authority.
Oh, okay. That is not a surprising statement at all there. So, distracted driving. Took his eyes off the road too long, slowly drifted over, got in the soft shoulder, rolled the truck. Just a few seconds. Fortunately, our driver was lucky. He walked away from that accident. Totally upended the truck, walked away from that accident. We've had rollovers where our drivers weren't so lucky. When you guys are out there over the road, it's really important to keep an eye on what you're doing. Being distracted, taking your eyes off the road, whatever the reason, is a great way to end up hurting yourself, to hurting somebody else, to hurting the equipment. And I don't want that to happen to any of you guys. We want to keep you safe. That's our number one expectation for you guys. And when we have serious accidents like this, I think it's important that we talk about them and we recognize how we all can learn from what had happened, right? Our guy was lucky. Will you be that lucky if that happens to you? Odds are not. So let's not have it happen. Was that a question? Oh, you.
Oh, no, I was thinking.
Oh, okay. So make sure you're safe out there. Make sure you're checking your equipment. You make sure you know that it's in good repair. That you make sure you're paying attention to the road. You're paying attention to the situation that you're in. Because it was a clear day, good road condition. Just leaned down and took their eyes off the road just a little too long. So be safe out there. It's really important. I had one other thing I was going to talk about. I totally forgot, Tyler. What was that?
Driver referrals?
Oh, yeah, driver referrals. Absolutely. This is a big thing for us. Some of the best drivers we have that work for us were referred to us by other drivers. You guys are out there every single day. You know what it takes to be a good driver. You're going to talk to a lot of guys in truck stops and shops, and some of them, they're not so good drivers. But some of them are. Some of them are great drivers, and we really want them to come work for us. If you guys refer a driver to us and they last 30 days with us, we'll give you $2,000. is that referral. And an important thing, and I hear this from guys too, is that, hey, I don't want to refer somebody who is going to make me look bad. I don't want that on my record, right? That is not at all how we think about referrals. Send us somebody. We have the job of doing the due diligence to look at the guy's record to see whether they're going to be successful, whether they're going to be unsuccessful, and ultimately we're going to make that decision no matter what you told us. But referring a guy to us, getting them to fill out an application, getting them in through our process, that's a really good way for us to, get new applicants that we wouldn't otherwise. The word of mouth, when you guys are talking to each other, is really powerful out there. And you're going to experience the same thing. Hopefully we're that forever company you guys are looking for. And I've always said this, but we're humans. There are brown spots in our grass, right? Grass may be greener somewhere else, and the best way you're going to find that out is you're going to be talking to people and you're going to be hearing their stories and what we do really well, maybe they don't do a very good job, but what we struggle with sometimes they do better. And that's just the nature of that conversation that you get to have. Now, I've always said, if you ever see a brown spot in our lawn, good God, Steve. If you ever see a brown spot in our lawn, you let me know and I'm going to come running with my fertilizer and I'm going to make sure we take care of that brown spot, because I know there's always opportunities to improve, and I want to make sure that we're improving. And that's the same culture I hope you'll find with everyone in the company. If we do something wrong, you let us know, and we'll do everything we can to fix it. But sometimes, one of the things that we're an over-the-road company. And so if you have an issue, you can't be away. You got to be home every single night. We don't have a whole lot of opportunity to help you guys be that. So I hope you can continue to drive over the road. I hope this is exactly the forever company you're looking for. I hope that the lifestyle challenges of over the road, we're going to have all the right tools in place to help you deal with that in your life. But that's the number one reason why drivers leave us, is because they are able to find a job that gets them home every night. One of the benefits of being an over the road driver is pays really good, but being away from home sucks. I don't know if I could do it, to be honest. I mean, thank you guys for doing that. It's hard work, it's a sacrifice, and I appreciate it. This company appreciates you, and this country appreciates you. I mean, if it weren't for you guys and the work that you do out there over the road, man, this country would pretty much suck. If you got it, a truck brought it, and that's the truth. So anyway, thank you guys for that. That's my announcements portion. Culture-wise, I do want to talk a little bit about, does anybody have any questions before I move on? We can hit that.
What kind of stuff are you looking at as far as like the technology?
Oh, so we're looking at, right now what we have is we have PeopleNet units that do our messaging and our hours of service. We use TransFlow for our document scanning. We use BestPass for our transponders, and we use SmartDrive for our cameras. That's kind of the technology suite. We're basically taking all of those functionalities and features, building a request for proposal, and we're sending that to all the vendors that we can find and say, hey, what products do you have that will help us do some or all of these things? And so we're probably going to end up keeping with a couple different products still, but some of the way that kind of lines up or breaks apart, like a lot of the new hours of service technology stuff that's out there, it's all like app-based. So it's probable that we'll see some kind of an app-based thing for, because even PeopleNet, which we use, Trimble, they have a new sort of app-based. It's a little dongle that you stick in the truck, and then it communicates with an app like on a tablet. And so that then would do the hours of service and the document scanning and the messaging and the maps and all that stuff would then be part of that tablet package. But those might be different apps, right? So not sure exactly how it's going to break down, but we're just out there reaching out to different companies, see what technology they have, see what costs it's going to be, and see if there's ways for us to improve your guys' experience out over the road, as well as maybe save some money. But really, we're doing this not to save money as much as we're doing this because, like, the PeopleNet systems we're using, they're 5-6 years old. A lot of the parts that we have, they're going end of life, and so we need to replace it here sooner or later. And there's opportunities with new technology that can really make your lives a lot easier out there over the road. At least that's what I've been hearing from guys when I talk to them, and that's what's really pushed me to move forward with this proposal. A request for proposal. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah, so that's,
okay.
That's just all
Yeah.
that you're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, any other questions? Cool. Let's talk about culture a little bit. One One of the things that I like to do when I do these roundtables is have a little talk about some things that maybe we can think about doing a little differently, think about the way we conduct ourselves, and hopefully this is something that not only will help us when we're in the office or when we're working with other people in the company, but maybe with our friends and our family. And one of the things that I want to talk about today is forgiveness and what that looks like. Something that I hear people talk about, right? We make mistakes, and what does forgiving look like, right? That's part of, you guys talked on Wednesday about making a mistake, right? We've got to fix our mistake. We got to own our, what is it? Own it, fix it, move on, right? Moving on is part of that forgiveness, or forgiving is part of that moving on step. And it goes both ways. It is us forgiving ourselves for making mistakes, and it's us forgiving others for the mistakes that they have made. And in particular, I want to talk to you about forgiving others and or receiving forgiveness from others. Something that we can do is it can be really easy to get into a point, well, I made a mistake, I owned it, I fixed it, why won't you forgive me for that? Come on, I owned it, I fixed it, you're not forgiving me. Can you earn forgiveness? Anyway, can you earn forgiveness, do you think? No. And what do I mean by that specifically? Well, there is nothing that I can do to force you to forgive me. It doesn't matter. You can choose to forgive me if you want to or not. In fact, I can do nothing and then you can forgive me, or I can do a lot and you choose not to forgive me. Because I cannot control what other people are going to do. In the same way, other people can't control me. Am I going to forgive somebody or not? There's nothing that they can do to force me to forgive them. So we have to recognize that in each other we have that free will, that ability to make those choices. Other people have those ability to make that choices. And if we get too caught up on that forgiveness piece, we can end up not really moving on ourselves. If we wait for other people to forgive us, we may not forgive ourselves when we make a mistake. One of the things that comes with forgiveness, right, is when we're talking about forgiving other people if they make mistakes, especially if it's a mistake that comes towards us, is what does that really mean to forgive somebody? Does that mean like saying the words, I forgive you? No. Forgiveness is something that's deeper. It's about understanding the journey that people have gone through in terms of their owning it and their fixing the mistake, coming to terms with how that mistake has impacted ourselves and what that mistake has done to us, and believing that whoever has wronged us is not going to do it again, right? Sometimes I forget, right? I get caught up in like I should forgive somebody, and I forget to understand what that forgiveness means. And so when I start to understand that, when I take a step back and I go, have I really understood the journey that this person has gone through in this mistake? Do I really believe that this person is going to grow from this? They're not going to make this mistake again? Is this person really going to, has really overcome what led to this mistake? That creates an opportunity for me to now have conversation either with myself or with that person about this mistake process. When we rush to forgiveness, when we rush ourselves to forgiveness, and we don't do those steps, we don't really achieve forgiveness. We don't really get to the point where we have a healthy, honest relationship with that person, because if we're not really forgiving them, there's a part of the back of our head that's going, I think they're still going to make that mistake again, or I just really don't like the way they went through that. And that's a conflict that I don't want to have inside of me. I hope you guys don't want to have that conflict. So when we think about mistakes, think about what that forgiveness piece is, and can we get to forgiveness honestly, truthfully, and whatever that is. Whether that's a small mistake, Jared didn't give me notice enough in time to get pizza before I had to do this. Or is it a big mistake, like you roll a truck? or you hurt someone you love. Can we get to forgiveness? Because it's the same kind of thing. Forgiveness and all of those things is the same. But the journey to get there can be very different, and it's a two-way street. So, anyway, that's my bit on forgiveness. Anybody have any questions or comments that they'd like to share on that?
I think forgiveness too, you know, if you're expecting it from someone and they don't seem to be, you know, realizing that they need to, or, you know, whatever, and everything, you know, you have to really, you know, ask yourself, well, you know, in the big picture of things, how does this really affect my life going forward? And if it doesn't, you know, you just say, hey.
Mm-hmm.
all right,
That's a
move
good
on.
point. Sometimes people won't forgive you. And if you can only forgive yourself when other people forgive you, well, you're setting yourself up for failure in terms of your journey to get through your mistakes. Right? It's a really good point. Anything else? All right, well, my encouragement to you guys, be safe out there, right? Don't roll a truck, please. If you guys are interested in OBCs, let me know. And next time somebody makes a mistake, or the next time you make a mistake, really think about forgiveness. Think about what that really means and be very intentional about it. That's my challenge to you guys.